Welcome everyone to the third game of the quarterfinal round of MAUL, the Monster Arena Ultimate League. In today's showdown, we have two favorites, two teams that cruised through their preseason victories and are here to do battle today in this quarterfinal matchup. But before we get to that, I want to thank the commissioner and his benevolence in allowing these games to continue. It is by his eternal wisdom that we shall all succeed. Now,
glory to the commissioner.
Glory to the commissioner indeed. I am Jason Bulmahn, one of the commentators for today's action, and I'm joined, as always, by my good buddy Dan. Hey there, Dan.
Hello. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing great. Still recovering from last week's amazing matchup.
Yeah, you know, I'm doing pretty good. I have to admit, the gruel here in the arena is of high quality this week. I found significantly fewer bugs.
Yes, exactly.
So, you know, last week's MAUL game was a bit of a shocker. I have to admit, I did not see it coming. I thought the Ogre Brothers were going to be able to take care of the Bone Breakers, but it just was not to be.
Nope. It was just some fortuitous swings of the club. You know, those crits can really make a difference, as we saw.
You know, we have seen that time and time again, that, you know, strategy is going to bring you to the battlefield. It's going to carry you onto the field. But really, that luck factor, those crits, they can really make or break a team.
Everybody's got a play until you get a crit in the face. That's just how it works.
That is absolutely true. So, before we go ahead and take a look at today's team, what I'd like to do is remind everybody of the rules of MAUL. Now, each team is built using monsters found in the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Bestiary. Each team consists of 160 XP worth of monsters, as balanced against a first level party. Now, teams can, throughout the match, get a morale bonus to their attacks based on the cheering of those watching here on Twitch. They participate in polls, and each round, one side wins a morale bonus or the other. Now, in addition to that, audience members can also sponsor a team, which you might see happen throughout the match, by throwing 1,000 bits at one of the teams to buy a hero point. Now, we're going to go ahead and transition over to the MAUL arena here, Dan, so that we can go ahead and take a look at the bracket. Now, this is the third quarterfinal match of the season. In that first week, we saw the Firestormers overcome the Killer Kobolds. The Bone Breakers managed to best the Ogre Brothers. But today, we are looking at the Bramble Brawlers versus the Bulmahn. So, it's going to be an exciting match, Dan. I am really excited to get this thing underway. I think we should probably start it off by taking a look at our teams. Now, in the initial breakdown of these teams, the AC bonus for the Bulmahn is really going to make things hard for the Bramble Brawlers, although the Bulmahn does have a pair of eagles with him that have significantly lower AC. But let's be honest here, Dan, it comes down to the Minotaur. If the Minotaur goes down, this match is over. Calling it, it's done.
Very true.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think what we should do is let's take a closer look at these teams. Let's look at some of their key abilities that's going to make up the difference between victory and bitter defeat. Now, on the Bulmahn side of things, of course, they've got charge. The Bulmahn is capable to cross almost the entire arena in a flash. You know, if he wins initiative, he is going to be up in the face of those Bramble Brawlers, and it is going to get messy quick, just like it did in the preseason bout against the Poison Shadows. Now, in addition to that, the Bulmahn has Swipe. This is a powerful ability that prevents his foes from ganging up on him. You know, just with that, he can even up the odds. And, of course, let's not forget the Twin Eagles. They may not hit for much, but he has them trained specifically to go in for a flank. So you will see them providing that valuable bonus on the 2 hits. But Dan, what do the Bramble Brawlers need to do to win this game?
Well, Jason, as we saw in the preseason, the difference for this team has to be those spore pods. Each Leshy on the team, they have an effective attack with a ranged attack, and most of them come with additional debilitating effects. If they can effectively land those attacks, it could be a steak and eagle dinner for the Bramble Brawlers this evening. After, and of course, even though it's sad to see when a Leshy dies, it leaves behind a massive amount of difficult terrain that might spell certain doom for a large creature like a minotaur. And along with the difficult terrain, they also heal the other plant creatures nearby. So that alone, that might be enough to keep him in the fight long enough to make it a good match.
Indeed. Well, you know what? That is a really exciting matchup. Let's take a closer look at the two teams themselves before we get started here. Starting off with the Bulmahn. Now, of course, the center of this team is Horns. He is the captain of the team. He is favored of the commissioner, and he was the previous champion. So everybody kind of is expecting Horns to cruise through this whole tournament and claim it for his own, but, that's why we play the games. Now, he is joined in the arena by a pair of eagles. Now, in the preseason, we were saddened to learn that Shock perished in the match against the Poison Shadows. But Horns has a replacement waiting in the wings, so now Awe will be joined in the MAUL arena by Some. Horns sure does love giving his eagle clever names, apparently. But you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at the Bramble Brawlers.
The big news this week is that controversy continues to swirl around some of the MAUL teams. The commissioners report that they found a growth enhancement elixir in the Team Warrens. However, Zig, the team's captain, has testified under a zone of truth that these elixirs were used purely for healing purposes after their preseason match, and that they were not used in any way to, quote, fatten the fruit, end quote. The rest of the Bramble Brawlers, we got Pumpkin and the twins Root and Stem, were not available for any comment.
Boy, you hate to see controversy swirl around these teams, Dan. It seems like every week there's some new scandal, some new thing that's drawing attention away from the sport.
I don't understand why they can't just play the game and keep it pure like we had back when we were kids.
Yeah, you would think that they would come at this with a love of the game, and that would be enough to carry them through. But no, week after week we find some new controversy, some new scandal. It's going to be interesting to watch. The commissioner does not like these sorts of things occurring in his arena.
No, and I think that if there's anybody that can clean up the kind of the behind-the-scenes drama that's been happening down on the Warrens, it's got to be the commissioner. Indeed. I think that they'll do it.
Well, before we get started here with initiative in the first round of combat, I think we should probably hear from one of our sponsors. This match is sponsored by Big Beard Brews. Have you spent all day in a forsaken tomb, braving deadly traps and hungry beasts? Then you deserve a beer made for real adventurers. Big Beard Brews. Drink like a dwarf. All right, and we're back. I think it's time for us to roll some initiative, Dan, and get this tournament underway. So, as we start out that process, Dan, I want to remind everybody that the characters in MAUL each act on their own initiative. So we will be rolling initiative for every single figure on the board, and that each figure gets to go on its own turn, take 3 actions, and that's how the combat will proceed until we reach its natural conclusion. All right. Looking like we've got all the numbers there, and I'm going to go ahead and sort these. Oh boy, Dan, we've got an interesting setup here today. I'm pretty sure that the Bramble Brawlers were really hoping that Horns was going to tank that initiative. But alas, he is done relatively well. Not quite first, but very high up in the order. So, with no further delay, Dan, I believe it is time to start round 1.
Yes.
But before we do, I nearly forgot something here, Dan. Let us not forget that the Bramble Brawlers did win the cheering pre-match and will start this game with a hero point. So the Bramble Brawlers are starting the game with a hero point. They got more cheers in the pre-match leading up to this. So there we go. All right. We are starting off the first round of combat with Zig. The team captain from the Bramble Brawlers, Dan, gets to go first.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. Zig. Zig is going to move, up here.
All right. Moving up into a corner of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
One of 3 actions.
And what the heck? 25. Then I'm going to go there.
Ooh, being bold, moving forward into the arena rather quickly.
And for my third action, I think, what are we at? 55 feet. So with a range of 30 feet, I think Zig is going to go ahead and throw a spore pod.
All right, well, that will be at a
Horns.
-2 penalty just because of the range, but you can give it a shot.
Is that a pun? I like it. Here we go.
I do what I can. Oh!
It's a 26.
That is a great way to start this match. A 26 is clearly going to hit. Dan, it doesn't look like it rolled damage, so if you just click on the damage in the stat block, it'll give it to you.
About that?
There you go.
Come on.
Oh,
Really?
minimum damage. Now, that is
Great.
That is going to do 3 points of damage. The horns will take that. You have scored first blood. Now, the seed pod does generally come with an additional effect. What is that effect on the fungus Leshy's seed pod?
There's a spore cloud.
Okay.
That is coming out, and you must attempt a saving throw with the same DC and effect as the spore cloud ability.
Okay. And what's that spore cloud ability do? If you want to click it, it'll appear in chat. Okay.
Let's see. Boom.
All right, there we go. Okay, so that's a DC 16 Fortitude save or take 1 persistent poison damage. I'm going to go ahead and make that roll.
Oof.
Dan, a save of 31 is going to make it.
I think that might have been a good save for you.
That was a pretty decent roll. I mean, I bounced an 18 there, so you can't complain about that. And that is going to be the end of Zig's turn. Next up is Horns. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to count something out here. Feel like I'm a little short. Dan, you cunning manager, you've managed to keep just outside of my range. All right.
The teams do their own thing. We're just watching.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Yeah. But on the upside, we just got a sponsorship for Horns. The Minotaurs have evened it up with 1 hero point themselves. All right, so to get things started here, I think Horns is going to play to his strengths. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to move right up to there. And then with his last 2 actions, Dan, he is going to go ahead and powerful charge. This is going to allow him to stride twice and then make an attack with his horns. So he's going to go charging right up to the middle of the Leshy front line. And he is going to make a horns attack against... Let's go with Stem. Here we go. All right. That is a 17. Does that hit Stem?
It's not going to do it, actually, Jason. 17 is not going to hit Stem.
Oh, my God. That is not a great start. What was that as a roll? Oh, a 3 is pretty terrible. You know what? I think that the Bulmahn is going to blow that hero point early because he cannot have this fail. So we're going to go ahead and burn that hero point right away. There's no way we're going to let that stand. Here comes the revised roll, Dan. No! Oh, this is not a good way for the Bulmahn to start this match. Burning the hero point, rolling the exact same roll. That is gonna be a problem for the Bulmahn. That is the end of Horn's turn. Stem gets to go next. This is a catastrophe for the Bulmahn.
This certainly is something. Okay, so Stem is gonna go. Wait, hang on. Let's do this. What the heck? We're gonna go to there. 2 moves. Right?
All right. Spend 2 moves to get away from Horns.
Yeah. And then, heck, might as well turn around and, yeah, we like that. He's gonna go ahead and throw a pod, which, with these fellows, it is going to be a deafening blow, which, whatever.
Well, we'll deal with it if you hit.
Yeah. Here we go.
An attack roll of 14 is going to come up shy. That is not going to manage to nail Horns there. But that is going to be the end of Stem's turn. But never fear, Root goes next.
All right.
The 2 were cut from the same shoot.
They absolutely were. Yeah, grew up in the same flower bed together.
Yeah.
Okay, so Root is going to go. Is that a standable square back there?
Yes, of course it is.
Okay.
It's most of a square.
Yeah, I wasn't
As
sure.
you're more than
All
half,
right.
you're probably fine.
All right, Root's going to take 1 move back there. And go ahead and throw a seed pod at Horns.
Brutal move. That seed pod's going to go sailing through the air, and it's just going to come up short. But I believe that was only your second action, so I think Root is going to get to act 1 last time.
All right, we're going to throw a second attack.
All right, the second attack is a much better roll, but that penalty isn't going to quite do it. And the fans are loving this. The Leshies just got another sponsorship and now have their second hero point. Boy, things are really starting to look grim there for Horns. And that is the end of Root's turn. Next up is Sum. The Eagle is going to get to go. Boy, this is not what they wanted to see. Normally the Eagles are trained to come in for the flank, but without a flank, they're probably just going to move and attack. So Sum is going to go ahead and move. We're going to go ahead and measure this out. All right, Sum is going to spend his first action to go swooping down. A little bit more breathing room so folks can see. Sum is going to come swooping down to Stem there and is going to make an attack with the beak. Here it comes. Armor class of 18, Dan.
18 does hit, Jason.
The beak is coming in for the hit. Take 5 points of damage.
Alrighty. That was significant.
That was not nothing, that's for sure. And with its third and final action, it's going to take its second attack, which is going to be with the Talon. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Sum is making up for where Horns has fallen a bit flat. That is an armor class of 20, but only 1 point of damage. And that is going to be the end of Sum's turn. Next up, we have Pumpkin.
Okay, so how do we want to play this? Let's see. Let's try this. Let's go. Is it there? All right, Pumpkin is going to throw a seed.
All right.
At Horns, and that looks like this.
That seed pod is going to go sailing straight at Horns and come up just short. Armor class of 19 is not going to quite do it.
I'd like to use my hero point on this one, I think, Jason. I actually completely forgot that I had them, so I'm going to use one right now.
All right, we're going to go ahead and burn that first hero point. That is going to cost you... You're down to just one now, but it's probably worth it.
Oof. That's even worse.
All right. Armor class 11. Yeah, welcome to the curse of hero points. You roll one, and then it doesn't quite come up. So that is going to come up a bit shy. All right. That is going to miss. Now, I think Pumpkin still has probably one more action.
Yeah, I'm going to do a second attack.
All right.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, the dice. The dice are not favoring the Bramble Brawlers here today, but to be honest, they aren't favoring Horns either. Someone should lodge a complaint with the commissioner.
The Secretary of Dice Rolling is in trouble. They're taking bribes from somebody. So
yeah, that is absolutely true. Now, one thing that we have been pointed out, the referee imps have reminded us that Zig's initial pod attack does indeed have an AoE. It has an area of effect that would have hit both Awe and Sum. So both of them need to make fortitude saves. We're going to go ahead and do that right now and possibly apply it retroactively. So let's go with Awe first. Awe is going to fail, so Awe is now taking persistent poison damage.
God love those referee imps. That's amazing. I had no idea.
And we will go ahead and just put a 1 down there so that we remember I'm taking 1 persistent poison damage. And let me go ahead and roll for Sum as well. Sum, however, is going to make it. So it doesn't actually affect the outcome of that action, but it is good to know that Awe has been poisoned. Speaking of which, it is now Awe's turn. Oh boy. Things are not looking great for this setup as everyone spreads to the 4 corners of the map. Awe is going to come down here and attempt to help out Sum. So we are going to go ahead and measure this out. Well, that's definitely going to be 2 actions, but, you know, that's what it's going to take. So Awe is going to come down here, swooping to the other side of Stem, and just going to take the 1 beak attack. Let's see if they can get a lucky break here. Here it comes. Armor class of 19 against a flat-footed AC. That is probably going to do it. For 6 points of damage against Stem.
Perfect. Okay, 6. Oof.
Stem has been taking a beating here, but as we reach the end of round 1, Dan, you got to admit that wasn't quite what either team manager expected here at the end of the first round.
Yeah, I don't think either of us would have said that the most damage in round 1 would have come from the birds.
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
In fact, the definitive answer here is round 1 goes to the birds.
MVP.
All right, and as we reach the end of round 1 here, I think it is time for another word from our sponsors.
Today's MAUL action is brought to you by Silver Crescent Wine. When you're ready to enjoy an after-work refreshment without having to wash your hands first, try Silver Crescent Wine.
And we're back with the start of round 2. Boy, Dan, round 1, I don't think anyone predicted it really going that way. We're going to have to see where round 2 takes us. But I can tell you this. The The crowd is really enthusiastic that the Bramble Brawlers are giving it to the Bulmahn. So they have the morale bonus for this second round here. It is going to be giving them a +1 bonus on all their attack rolls. As a brief little notice there, Aw did take his poison damage at the end of the round. We forgot to check whether or not that came to an end, so we'll go ahead and do that right now real quick. And a 2 does not bring it to the end, so Aw is still taking poison damage. Well, we are here at the start of round 2, Dan. What are your thoughts?
I think, here's the thing: we're paid to give our expert analysis of the entertainment that we see on the field, and I think that the best I can come up with right now is wow. I did not expect that.
Yeah, me neither. It certainly did not go out how I think anyone saw this happening, but you never know how things could change here. We're going to start off with Zig, who is on the far side of the arena and can really only even see Horns since the others are below the level of the platform.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, so...
That
All right,
is
Zig.
Just one range bracket. However, that column is going to be providing a bit of cover.
That's what I was wondering. Okay, so Zig is going to... Zig's going to go there.
That would certainly get rid of it, yep.
And then he's going to throw a Spore Pod at Horns.
All right. Can't say we didn't see this coming. Spore Pods are kind of the bread and butter. Now, a +1 bonus is going to make that an 18, but it's just not enough.
Jason, let's go ahead and throw... I have a hero point left, right?
You have one. The Bramble Brawlers have 1 hero point remaining.
Look, you know what? You can't take those to the grave, so you might as well use them now. Let's do this.
Now, as a reminder to everybody who is watching, each team can only have a maximum of 3 hero points throughout the entire match. The Bramble Brawlers have gotten 2 and spent both of them already. So they still have room for 1 more, and the Bulmahn has room for 2 more.
All right. Thank you for the reminder, and here we go.
Oh! A 27 is definitely going to hit. That is going to do 6 points of damage. It's not a crit, but 6 points of damage is nothing to scoff at. The Minotaur has taken a bit of a beating and is going to need to make another fortitude save, I believe, against those spores.
Yeah, that's the spore cloud.
All right, we will go ahead and try that fortitude save. 28. Minotaur is very hardy foe. And is managing to resist taking that damage. All right, Zig still has 1 action left.
Yeah, Zig does have 1 action left.
We've got hero points coming in fast and furious while the Leshies are considering that move. The Bulmahn is going to get another hero point, but no sooner did that happen that the Leshies got their 3rd hero point.
Yes.
All right, Zig has moved even further away from Horns, vanishing off into a corner of the arena. All right, next up is Horns. Boy, Minotaur can't be happy with how this has been going so far. Seeing the gored Leshy right nearby, I think it's time for him to move up and deal some axe-based justice. The Minotaur is going to move up to that location, and he's going to swing that great axe right at Pumpkin. This is his second action. Here it comes.
That is a hit.
17 is a hit. All right. So that is going to do 10 points of damage. Not nearly enough to put Pumpkin back in the patch, but it's a start. And with his third and final action, he is going to swing a second time.
Ooh.
But an armor class of 10 is not going to do it. He is not going to spend his hero point on that, so he's going to live with that result. And that is going to be the end of Horns' turn. Next up, we have Stem. Stem is down there surrounded by birds.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Stem's gonna go there?
Indeed.
Was there any claws, any talons or bites coming at him
No,
as he
the
did that?
eagles are not that well trained.
Okay, good.
They make a bunch of squawking noises as the Leshy flees from their talons.
Oof. I did not look at the map correctly on that one. Okay, all right. Stem is going to go ahead and throw a seed pod at Horns.
All right, he's going to take the -2 penalty, but that's the risk you take.
That's bad coaching on the coach's part there. Whoever that is, definitely not me.
It's hard to get those leaf leshies to play ball sometimes.
It totally is. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, an armor class of 12 certainly isn't going to hit, but considering the penalty, he's really only got like a plus, 4 bonus to hit as it is.
Yeah. Okay, and then I have a third attack, right? That was one move.
You absolutely do have a third attack. Stem can make one more attack.
Okay, so just you know what? God, I really should move. I really should move.
Well, Awe is sitting there right out in the open, not even having any cover from Stem.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? Stem's gonna throw attack number 3 at Awe.
All right, so third action, second attack is going at Awe.
Boom.
Oh, that is absolutely brutal, Dan. That is a natural 20 and a critical hit. That is going to do 10 points of damage, and Awe falls from the sky. That is first blood for the Leshies with a critical hit. That is a devastating loss. Horns can't be happy with that. His birds are dropping left and right here. And that is the end of Stem's turn. Next up, we have Root, who has fled off to a corner and is a little far away from the fight.
Definitely is pretty far away from the fight. Yeah, might as well go there. Was that where it was?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. All right. So Root is going to go ahead and throw a seed pod, a deafening blow seed pod.
All right.
At Horns.
Making another attack on Horns. All right, go ahead and make the roll. Dan, that's a 19, but thanks to the morale bonus of the crowd, that is going to land a hit for 3 points of damage on Horns.
All right, we'll take it.
Indeed. Now, that deafening effect, what's that look like?
So the deafening effect is... Let me grab this. There.
All right, so that is going to be another fortitude save. Now, deafening Horns really isn't going to do much of anything, and it's probably not going to matter because that is a critical success, making Horns immune to the deafening effect for the remainder of the match. So, that was Root's second action. Dan, any word on what Root's third action might be?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that Root is going to go right over to here.
The Leshy continue to use their superior numbers and mobility to keep Horns guessing. Probably a good call. Next up is the eagle, desperate to avenge its clutchmate, is going to come flying up at Stem. Going to go ahead and land right there. And from that spot, he is going to take a beak strike on Stem. Here it comes. Armor class of 18.
18 is going to hit.
For 6 points of damage.
And that is going to be the end of Stem.
All right. That does mean... Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dan. He does create a burst. Correct? Within, what, 30 feet?
Jason, I'm not going to correct you because you were in fact right. What happens is there's a verdant burst when a leaf Leshy dies, a burst of primal energy. In fact, I'll put it in the chat so everyone can read that. And it's a 30-foot emanation of difficult terrain.
All right. Well, that goes blasting out into the arena. Unfortunately, Pumpkin is outside the range and will not benefit from the healing. However, that entire area is now difficult terrain, Dan. But as it currently stands, the only creature inside the difficult terrain is one that can fly.
Yes.
So, Stem's third action is going to be to go soaring over here and harry Pumpkin.
Don't like that at all.
And that is going to be the final action for some. Pumpkin is up next.
Okay, so Pumpkin is going to go... Yeah.
Leshy continue to move about the battlefield.
Yeah, they're going to take 2 moves there. And then they're going to throw a seed. Good. Nice.
More seed pods back.
At Horns.
Very good. Armor class 24 is going to score a hit for 4 points of damage. Horns is starting to look a little battered down there on the battlefield. And with the majority of the Leshy still on the field, boy, this is starting to not look great. What is Pumpkin's additional ability? Ensnare. Oh, it's a reflex save. That is significantly less good for Horns.
Let's hope so.
Let's go ahead and roll that reflex save and see how it turns out. Oh, exactly. Just barely. He is going to avoid the speed penalty. Boy, that speed penalty would have been absolutely clutch.
Would have been awesome.
All right, and that is the end of Pumpkin's turn. And Dan, you know what that means? We are at the end of round 2. So before we go into the break, why don't we have another word from one of our sponsors? As we take a break, we want to remind you that MAUL is supported by Big Beard Brews. If your idea of a quest is sitting under a tree reading poetry, this is not the beer for you. Big Beard Brews, beer for real adventurers. And we're back with the start of round 3. Dan, those first 2 rounds were pretty evenly pitched. Both sides have taken some losses. They've taken a little bit of damage. But as of yet, this is still anybody's game.
Not speaking to the massive amount of difficult terrain in the middle of the arena, it is kind of an open field right now, I gotta say. I think that right now I can see this... If the Leshy can keep up this idea of kiting around and not getting locked into a corner, I think that you can't decide it just yet. You have to wait and see how it's going to play.
I can hear Horns snorting with rage from up here in the press box, Dan. He is clearly very frustrated with this tactic. Running all over the field, he's getting tired. He's getting winded. He's a big bull. He's not used to all this running.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think the plans can only keep this up for so long, but they're going to do their best. I'm relatively sure.
Well, we're going to have to see how it plays out. Now, morale is continuing to favor the Bramble Brawlers, who will continue to get the morale bonus this round. At the start of the round, Dan, Zig gets to go first with 3 actions. What is the captain of the Bramble Brawlers up to?
Okay, so Zig can see horns or cannot see horns.
He can see horns, but horns has cover from the platform in the center of the arena. It's not a lot of cover, but it is some.
Okay, all right. And if Zig moves, let's see. Zig can go there, and that's not difficult terrain.
Correct. Stepping into that square does not cause you to deal with difficulty.
And what do we think about this? If it's half and half?
That square is probably not difficult terrain because it's less than half.
Okay.
The auras are perfectly circular, but that's not actually how they affect the field.
Okay. Boom.
All right,
Zig's going to go there.
That is 1 action. Horn still has kind of a similar amount of cover, but that is an awful lot of difficult terrain between the two.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Brief shake-up. There we go. Oof. That's a -4 to hit.
A penalty of 4.
And then that doesn't even count the cover.
Yeah, you're going to be looking at a really high roll for Zig to pull that off, but what else are you going to do, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. What else? Okay, so Zig is going to go ahead and throw a spore pod at the horns.
An armor class of 24 is a very good roll, Dan, because that is bumped up to a 25. -4 takes it down to 21. -1 for the light cover of the platform brings it down to 20, which is exactly Horns' armor class. So that is going to hit for 8 points of damage. That is a pivotal hit. And max damage at that, bringing Horns all the way down to 8. Now that is, of course, going to come with the Spore Pod ability again, which I believe is the Cloud. So that is going to make Horns take a Fortitude save. Here it comes. Horns absolutely destroys it with a roll of 19 for a total of 32. However, Some is also within range and is going to fail. In fact, critically so. That is quite bad, although because this is a special ability, it does not have an additional failure effect on a critical. So it's going to take 1 persistent poison damage. Okay.
Nice. And then I have a third action, right?
Yeah.
I moved, did my main attack, and then I'm going to do attack number 2.
All right.
On Horns.
Swinging for the fences here, but worked last time.
Nope.
Way short.
Yeah.
That is the end of Zig's turn. Next up, Horns has had enough of all of this malarkey, the word of the day. So Horns is going to go ahead and move right on up to Pumpkin. Might as well base him, and we'll take a swipe with his great axe. Here it comes. Armor class of 20. Dan, that is going to do 12 points of damage to Pumpkin.
And that is not good for Pumpkin. That puts them at a -2.
Dan, that is going to cause Pumpkin to explode into another 30-foot aura of difficult terrain. Oh, that is bad news for the Bulmahn. For Team Bulmahn, he is now swamped in difficult terrain. That is going to heal Root, but Root is at full. So that is a bit of a mess. All right. Well, that was Horns' second action. For his third action, he is going to move a little. Gonna move to there, and that's his whole move.
Good.
Because of difficult terrain. Brutal. All right, it is Root's turn.
All right. Well, Root is going to. Let's see. I think Root is just going to go here. And that puts it at 30 feet. I think Root is going to go there and then take 2 attacks against Horns.
All right. The first seed pod is launched. Dan, that's an armor class of 19, which would be a miss, except again for the morale bonus from the crowd. That is going to be another hit for 3 points of damage.
And then with this one, you're looking at Ensnare from Root. Nope, sorry. That's Pumpkin. Wait,
Yep.
Sorry.
No
I was
worries.
looking at the wrong one. From Root, it's just Deafening Blow.
Deafening Blow, which I'm already immune to, so you don't have to worry about it, because I critically
Oh, yeah, that's right.
succeeded.
I forgot about that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no worries. So that was Root's second action. Root still has one final action and can make a second attack.
Which Root is definitely going to do now.
Armor class of 10 is not going to quite do it. That penalty is going to cut that out from underneath him. So that is going to miss. Next up is Sum. Here at the bottom of the round, Sum is going to go ahead and move. Oh boy, that is very close. I wonder if there's a way to make that actually work. Oh, gonna come up short. So Sum is going to oh no, there it is. Sum is just barely going to be able to move up there near Root. Take a beak attack. Thanks to its speed of 60, armor class of 20.
That is going to hit.
3 points of damage.
Root takes. That was 3 points of damage, Chase?
Just 3 against Root.
Okay.
And with Sum's final action, we'll take a Talon Strike with its third and final action. Here we go. Armor class of 9 is not going to do it. At the end of Sum's turn, Sum is going to take 1 point of persistent damage, and then is going to make the flat check to see if that persistent damage comes to an end. And it does. That is the end of the persistent damage, so that is all that Sum is going to take. And with that, Dan, we are at the end of round 3. So I think we should probably hear from one of our sponsors.
And we would like to remind you that MAUL is brought to you by Silver Crescent Wines. Did you spend all day doing back-breaking labor? Then Silver Crescent Wine is not for you. Silver Crescent Wine.
And welcome back to the start of round 4. Dan, this is a incredibly unpredictable match. I am honestly not sure how this is going to play out. Horns is chasing around the arena trying to put an end to these Bramble Brawlers, but like a weed in a garden, they just keep popping up.
They're not going quietly. It's almost like they've had enough and they're doing this. It's going to happen. But, again, How long will that strategy hold out? Who knows?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how this plays out. Now, both teams still has 1 hero point. The Bulmahn can, of course, still have 1 more, but the Bramble Brawlers are down to their last 1. Fortunately, the folks in the arena are coming through for them, and the Bramble Brawlers are keeping that morale bonus. So it is still anyone's game here. At the start of round 4, Dan, we are starting out with Zig. What is the Bramble Brawlers team captain up to? Has a clearer line of sight to Horns, but man, that is a lot of range.
Yeah, that is a lot of range. That is no joke. All right, so Zig is going to go, let's see. Oof. All right. Zig is just going to go right here. And at 40, that'll be a -2.
Yep.
And he's just gonna throw his first seed pod at some for right now.
Oh, targeting the birds. First seed pod goes winging at some, but a roll of 2 is going to come up well short. That is not going to land.
Let's see what. There's columns that the columns in that are just too much to get by, right?
That's going to be some pretty good cover.
Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. Let's do attack number 2 on some. Let's just try our best to clear root out a little bit.
Well, they would be removing the Bulmann's options. Now, a 15 would be a miss, but thanks to that morale bonus again, coming up clutch. The bonus from the cheering fans is just enough to pick off some. The bird goes winging from the air and is removed from play with 8 points of damage. It is now just Horns. Horns is the only one left on the field for the Bulmahn. Both of his birds have been removed, and that is the end of Zig's turn. All right, we're going to start off with Horns' turn here. He's just a little bit out of range for powerful charge there, so he's going to have to spend 2 of his actions just moving, which is going to bring him right up to here. That is 50 feet of movement through difficult terrain. It goes real slow through those plants, but he's going to make it up to there, and he's going to take 1 swipe with his great axe at root, hoping to bring an end to this and make it down to just Zig and just Horns. Here it comes. Armor class of 17.
Not
Boy,
gonna hit.
I don't think that does it.
Nope, it does not. Root is an 18.
Yeah, I think Horns is going to spend his hero point here and re-roll that attack roll. Yeah, that is what he's doing. So let's see what the reroll is. Armor class of 26.
26 does hit, yes.
26 is a crushing blow for 18 points of damage.
And Root is no longer a part of this team.
We're going to go ahead and mark Root as defeated. Now, this does create yet another blast of roots throughout the battlefield. That Zig is just outside of.
Just outside of.
Yeah. This is going to get really rough. And that is the end of Horns' turn, which also brings us to the end of round 4. These rounds are going to come fast and furious now, Dan. With only 2 participants left on the board, the question everyone has to be asking is, can Zig pull it out? We're going to have to find out. But before we do that, let's have another word from our sponsor. This match is brought to you by Big Beard Brews. In a world filled with dragons, demons, and the hungry dead, you need a beer that tastes great but won't leave you with the sickened condition. Big Beard Brews. Drink like a dwarf. And we're back with the start of round 5. Dan, these rounds are going to start coming fast and furious. With only 2 combatants left on the field, Horns and Zig. It's going to be a battle to the finish. Now, you gotta like Zig's chances right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now the hit points are actually a little bit closer. They're a little more similar. Zig definitely has better positioning as far as movement goes right now. So there's that.
Yeah.
I think we can clearly see what the plan is now and what Zig is hoping to accomplish.
Well, he really only has one path to victory, and that's using seed pods to kill Horns before Horns can close the distance and bring that axe to bear. Because once it's in range, it gets real ugly.
Yeah, it's not going to go well at all.
All right. Now, on the upside, the crowd is still cheering for the Bramble Brawlers. They do love them fungus. So we're going to start off with Zig, the team captain. The only remaining member of the Bramble Brawlers on the field gets to go first. Has a clear shot at Horns.
Yes, yeah. Zig is just going to, at 45, he's going to take a penalty of 2 on this. But he's just going to stand there and throw a Spore Pod at Horns.
All right, he is going to throw a Spore Pod, but that is going to come up short. That is only 18 modified up to a 19. That is not quite enough.
I'm going to use my hero point if I can.
Third and final hero point being spent by the Bramble Brawlers. There it is. The hero point has been spent. Zig may reroll that attack roll. Clutch. That is going to hit. Armor class of 25. How much damage?
That's going to be 7 points of damage. And let's see. And the Spore Cloud.
7 points of damage is going to bring Horns almost down to half. He is going to make that fortitude save. Here it comes. Now, still crushing it with those. A 29 is definitely going to make it. That was Zig's first action.
Here comes... You know what? Okay, here we go. Done. I'm just going to do it.
Another attack. This one an armor class of 24, Dan. That is going to hit as well for how much more damage?
6 more points of damage and also another Spore Cloud.
6 points of damage and another Spore Cloud. Boy, if he can get one of these Spore Clouds to land, that slow drip-drab of hit points coming off would really help. Let's see if the fortitude save comes through again. And it does. All right, that was Zig's first and second action. Horns is now down to just 30 hit points. They have the same number of hit points, Dan.
Okay, now Zig is going to move over to here.
That last sponsorship deal just came through for the Bulmahn. That is the last hero point on the board. Bulmahn has it. That's not good. But we are now to Horns' turn. Horns, however, is mired in difficult terrain. His speed is only 25, so even if he moves all 3 times, he gets to move 75 feet, but basically cut in half down to 35. So he can move to there. That's it. Still in difficult terrain, and that was his entire turn.
Right.
Horn spends the entire turn moving through difficult terrain, and I think that's the end of round 5, Dan. We've reached the end of the round already. There's only 2 people moving. These rounds are going to come fast and furious. So why don't we look forward to getting started with our next round. All right, let's get started with round 6. Dan, that round 5 went by in a blink, but it went pretty much as expected, with Zig throwing some seed pods, desperately trying to bring Horns down as Horns trudged through difficult terrain.
Yeah, that is no joke. That terrain is really not messing around.
That is slowing him down, but even then, Horns is reaching the end of it, so This is going to get pivotal here pretty quick. The upside is the fans are still cheering on Zig, and it is Zig's turn.
All right, Zig is going to, without a penalty this time, go ahead and throw a spore pod at Horns.
There's a little bit of cover there, but probably not enough. That, a 16 is not going to do it. Even with the fan bonus of 17, that's not going to land.
Okay, so next is going to be... double move?
You certainly can, yeah.
Double move.
Zig is going to go racing down to the corner of the map. That is the end of Zig's turn. Next up, Horns, desperate to get out of this difficult terrain. That is 10. That is 20. That is 25. That's one move. Now, I don't think he has the move to charge. I don't think it's there. No, it would be to there. That is not enough. So he is going to go ahead and double move to there, but that is going to be the end of his turn. Horns is closing in on Zig, but that's not going to do it. For ease of purpose, Horns is actually 2 lower than this, but we'll put him there because otherwise he's behind my screen. We've never had to use the corners of the arena, Dan.
No, we're using we're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, so he is technically located right there. That is right behind my screen, but we'll hold it there. And that is the end of round 6. Shocking how quickly they are passing now. And here we are back for the start of round 7. I think this is a new record for the MAUL Arena, Dan. I don't think any matches made it past round 5 up to this point. But the Bramble Brawlers sure are trying to play keep away here, avoiding the Bulmahn who is chasing them down. Zig gets to start the round. What do you got for me?
All right. Well, Zig is going to, just to make sure, Zig is going to throw a spore pod at Horns to start things off.
Very good. Armor class of 26 is going to hit. Dan, how much damage is that?
That's going to be 6 points of damage.
Another 6. Horns is down to 24 hit points. Things are looking pretty grim here.
You've also got a spore cloud.
Ah, that's right. Let me go ahead and make that fortitude save. Here it comes. 28 again. The fortitude of the Bulmahn is hard to overcome.
Yes, it is. And then Zig is going to double move.
All right.
Which means he can only go 25
25 feet
right?
total. Yeah, if he's moving into the difficult terrain.
All right, yeah. Yeah, that's his plan, I think.
To give everyone a sense, we'll go ahead and move the initiative clock here to the middle of the arena, just so that folks can see. There is the bottom of our MAUL arena, and Zig has fled into the difficult terrain. All right. Well, things are getting pretty gritty here. Horns is going to go. Horns is going to take his first action to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That is horrible. He's got to stop there because of the difficult terrain, and then he is going to. Boy, yeah, he's gonna have to do it, but he is finally gonna get in there. He is going to powerful charge. That is going to move him up adjacent to Zig and allow him to attack with his horns. He finally catches up to the wily leader of the Bramble Brawlers, and here comes the attack. Armor class of 19, Dan.
Yep. Zig's armor class is 19.
Now, I want to remind you that that does more than 14 points of damage because Powerful Charge does do 2d8 plus 10 as opposed to 1d8 plus 8. So we're going to add another 1d8 plus 2 on top of this. So let me go ahead and roll that. Here's the 1d8. We're going to add 2 more on top of that. Minimum, so it's only going to add 3 more for 17 damage to Zig.
Okay.
Boy, this is coming down to the wire. That is the end of Horns' turn, and that also brings us to the end of round 7. Dan, we are at the end of round 7. Looking forward to round 8. Everybody stay tuned. All right, and we're back for the start of round 8. Dan, oh man, this has finally come down to its pivotal moment. Horns and Zig in base-to-base combat, swinging, exchanging blows. I have no idea how this is going to end now, but we're going to find out here in just a moment, starting out with Zig.
All right. Well, I could be wrong, but I've got my my little binoculars, and I'm looking at Zig's face, and it looks like he's got a hardened look on his face. And
well, he is a fungus.
Is he drawing a line in the sand of the MAUL arena right in between them? And yeah, he's got his leafy arms, and he's flexing his leafy muscles, and he's just like saying, "It ends right here, right now." And he is just swinging. He's taking his little leafy fists and he's swinging at Bulmahn.
Well, he does still have the bonus right now, the morale bonus. The crowd is still cheering for the Bramble Brawlers right at the moment, but I'm beginning to feel like there's a turn in this, so Zig has to bring this to an end right now. Go ahead and make those attacks.
All right, here we go. Nope, that's not good.
That is a incredibly poor roll. Unfortunately, a 2 is not going to get the job done.
After that amazing introduction of this attack, all of the fans in the audience are like, "Wait, are you serious? Is that what you got? You're doing that?" But he is not deterred. He takes his second attack.
That is a very resounding hit. Zig slams his fist into Horns, dealing 8 points of damage. That is a very solid hit. 1 shy of a crit on the die. So Zig is going to land a resounding blow there. Zig still has 1 action remaining. What's it going to be?
You know what? We're here. We're doing this. It is
swinging for
time.
The fences.
You got to. Let's do this.
A crit here could bring this game to an end. But a 4 is not going to do it. 4 on the die is not going to get the job done. Horns turns his attention to Zig. And the first thing he's going to do is swing that great axe. It's been getting the job done here for the rest of the fight. This axe comes swishing down through the air. Right at Zig. Armor class of 22 is going to hit.
22, yes.
But the damage is the minimum amount. It's only 9.
All right.
He's trying to cut out these Leshy's root and stem. He's going to swing again with his great axe. Here it comes. Armor class of 24.
24 is going to do it.
For 10 points of damage. That is going to take Zig down. It's going to create yet another burst that blasts through the arena. The entire arena is covered with vines. The grounds crew is going to have a real hard time with this. But in the center of it all, roaring and snorting, almost falling over from his wounds, the Bulmahn is victorious.
Oof. Wow.
That was an amazing match, Dan. I can't even begin to believe how that worked out. That was a nail biter right into the very end.
I feel bad that we charged them full price because they only needed the edge.
That is absolutely true. I have to admit that game could have gone either way. Couple dice rolls here, couple dice rolls there. I don't actually feel like this match was determined by critical hits.
No, I think that there was a lot of good strategy on both sides. And, obviously, like you saw, the Leshy, their plan was, let's say, draw this out as long as we can and just try to ping and nickel and dime and try to get some of those hit points down. And it almost worked. It wasn't too far off.
Yeah, I have to admit, the Bramble Brawlers really came into this match with a very solid game plan. They honestly knew what they were trying to accomplish. They had a strategy that was sound, that you have to think other teams are going to look at this as the path to victory against the Bulmahn.
Yeah, I think that maybe this match might have shown some of Bulmann's future opponents. Maybe there's some little places that they could get an advantage against them. Maybe it helped another team down the road.
Now, before we get into some deeper analysis and a look forward to the next game, Dan, why don't we have one last break from one of our sponsors?
And as we head into the break, we want to remind you that this game is brought to you by Silver Crescent Wines. You probably can't afford it. It's Elven. Silver Crescent Wines.
Well, Dan, that was an amazing match. I think that was one of the best MAUL matches yet. Anybody who saw that and wasn't clutching the chairs, the rails of their chair, they weren't watching the same match we were watching.
It was a nail biter. Like, I honestly thought, looking at the stats and seeing who was randomly matched up in this week, I was like, well, all right, it'll be a fun match, I'm sure. I did not expect what we got today. It was amazing.
Me neither. And you know what? One of the MVPs of the match was actually Awe and Sum. They were getting the job done out there when the Bulmahn could not reach the Leshy.
They were the early game MVPs, it again, unexpected, I taking
think
out
just,
part of the team.
Just as being able to spread out and isolate the Bulmahn and the Minotaur and preventing him from charging around, you can't ignore those two eagles. They do hit for enough damage that against some of the weaker teammates, they can pick you off.
Yeah, it's easy to look at it and say, well, we're definitely going to ignore that.
Yeah.
But if you do, you see what happens. You just can't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that wraps up the third match of the MAUL season. We will be wrapping up the quarterfinal round next week on November 14th with a match against the Dooms Dwarves. We'll be facing off against the Poison Shadows.
And as always, we hope that you've enjoyed this marvelous match. If you missed it, or any of the other matches from before, you can always catch up by checking them out on YouTube. They go live on the Monday following each game. And while you're at it, why not pick up some official MAUL merch featuring your favorite MAUL logos? Just look for the link in the comments or in the description down below.
This has been a presentation of MAUL. We have been your hosts. I'm Jason Bulmahn.
And I'm Dan Servo.
And we will see you next time.